Hey y'all. So I wanted to share a new song and explain a little bit where it came from. A couple weeks back, my wife went in for her first ultrasound, and the doctor said, the doctor couldn't find heartbeat and said, it might be too early or you might be having a miscarriage. So my wife comes home and we talk, and then I go to my room and I pray, and I feel led to do a fast, um, and I don't say this out of any sense of pride, but really wanting to just communicate where this song came from and what it was like for me walking through this season. So I tell God, okay, God, I'm not going to eat until I find out whether this baby's gonna live or die, and I'm praying things like, God, please give us this baby that way anytime I see this child, I know that God hears, he responds, he acts, he listens to his people, and he moves, and it would just be so awesome, God. And so really just praying for the life of the baby. So 6 days go by, and still haven't eaten, and my wife goes in for her next ultrasound, and that morning I am just praying more fervently than I probably ever have in my life. So just begging and pleading, and then we get the news that the baby did die. And so now naturally we ask the question, why, God? Why didn't you move? Why didn't you hear me? Do you hear me? And we have questions, and we want to know why, and we feel like if we know why and we can see God's higher plan and everything, that it just make the situation easier. So and I want to say something about this question, why didn't God move? And one of the reasons I wanted to write this song was to remind myself that and what I felt like was communicated to me walking through this is that what I felt like was communicated to me was, Jeremy, I did move, and I took up the cross. So Jesus points me back to the cross, where my hope and my joy should be rooted, not in the outcome of a certain situation or something I'm asking for, but rooted in the cross of Jesus and the hope of salvation. The other thing I wanted to speak to in this song was the comfort of Jesus. And we know that the best comforters are those who have been where we are or what we're going through, who know. And we see in Hebrews 4:14 that we have a great high priest who can sympathize with our weaknesses. Jesus knows what it's like to be human yet without sin. And in light of that, something hit me in the Gospels, and it's Jesus in the garden, where he's praying to God fervently, to where he's praying, he's literally sweating drops of blood, and we know that he's praying, Father, if it be possible, please let this cup pass from me. And he asks it 3 times. That it would pass from him. And we know that it didn't. The cup didn't pass from him, the cup of God's wrath. We know that Jesus went to the cross where he was treated as guilty so that we could be treated as righteous. And so it's just something, it just kind of hit me that he can really speak to that. Now, Jesus' situation was different here, but what I'm trying to communicate is that he can come alongside us in a very personal way. And we hear Jesus on the cross crying out, Father, my God, why have you forsaken me? And I know that some people think that Jesus wasn't actually forsaken. My thought is that Jesus was forsaken so that I wouldn't have to be. But my point here isn't a theological one. It's what was Jesus feeling? And this is where I felt that Jesus really met me, that he could come alongside me and say, Jeremy, I know what it's like to feel forsaken. And Jeremy, I know what it's like to ask for something and not get it. I feel what that's like too. So yeah, those are the two things I wanted to speak to, is that walking through something like this, Jesus points us back to the cross. The Spirit points us back to the cross as our hope, and where our joy is rooted in, being reconciled to God. And then the other was that Jesus knows what it's like, and he can comfort us. So this song is called There Is a Cross, and I hope it's a blessing to some of you out there.
There are times I have questioned, times without answers, walking through trials, and I beg for you to move, and I plead for you to hear. Oh, I beg, I plead, my God, why won't you move? God, would you come show your power, come and surround. God, draw near, deliver me from fear. And I hear you speak, and I hear you say, there is a cross, there is a cross. When you thought I did not move, I took the cross. You know I'm in need, you know how I'm weak, and how I forget. So come and remind me where my hope is. Remind me where my hope is. Remind me that my hope is found in you. I look and see, and there carry